Here. There we go. We are live. What's going on, guys? Let me know in the comment section who's all here with me, guys. I just posted that post in the GAZ group. So go ahead, or the Global Affiliate Zone group, go ahead and comment in there who's all live so that way we can get everybody else in the group added in here. We will be going from this link. We're not going to be utilizing the email link. So if you guys could update the people in there, because I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are on the email link wondering where we're at. So
I think I think you might have set the date for 24 hours. Someone said in the Facebook chat there.
Awesome. There we go. Now I'm starting to see some people comment. We're live.
It's working. It's working. My bad.
All right. There we go. Perfect. So that is working. Yeah, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and give a couple minutes. Go ahead and comment in the section there. Let people know that you're here, so that way the people that are, waiting in the email list, they can go ahead and hop over to this one. So yeah, guys, so we're going to be doing it on here instead of in the webinar or in the webinar jam, just because this is what we had to do to get it set up for right now. So we're going to utilize this. Guys, basically is what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you guys chat in that Facebook post. So any questions that you guys have, I want you guys to go ahead and post them in there. I'm going to try to keep track in regards to getting everybody's questions answered. And so that's just it, guys. So we're going to do a live Q&A. Basically, me and Dan, we're going to go over, whatever technical questions you guys have, if it's in regards to Facebook ads, goal setting, different things like that. I want to be able to go over that information with you guys. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Enjoyed your lovely Labor Day. I know I enjoyed, I had a nice 4-day weekend. And so that was really exciting. Nice little break. Dan, how was your weekend?
Dude, I labored on Labor Day. I was at the hospital all 4 days straight. I just got home.
Working hard, guys. Working hard.
Gotta kill it. I need an advertising budget for the new system, so I'm volunteering for every scrap penny I can earn right now.
Yep, those extra shifts.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, guys. So yeah, basically, we're gonna let this go for an hour. I do have to cut it off. It's gonna be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we got the beta coaching call after this. So guys, we're gonna let this run for an hour.
We got some good people in the house, man. I'm just looking at the list here. We got some monster players in the house, some real hustlers. We got Josh here. We got Derek. Derek is in the house. We got Blake. I mean, we've got just some hustlers. We got Gabrielle in the house. So we got a good turnout here. We got Dave Cardo's here. Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun.
Perfect, guys. So that's just it. We are literally, me and Dan are here to answer your guys' questions. So go ahead. What's going on, guys? Go ahead and start posting your questions. Me and Dan would be glad to answer those questions for you guys. Anything in regards to, Facebook ads, setting up goals, marketing budget, anything along those lines.
Maybe even to start, maybe see some people's wins too before you go into some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Oh, Danny's in the house. All right. Yeah, guys, go ahead and start posting some of your wins, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be, GAZ finance a win. It could be any win in your life at this point. I'll start. I was surfing Facebook this morning in between cases, and I ran across something that just caught my attention. And there's a girl in our group called, her name is Lindsay Crabb. She posted a line in the sand moment. She's active duty military as well, and she was mopping a floor. And I worked maintenance and custodial all through high school, undergrad, and I mopped myself plenty of floors. And I'm just like, what's this about? And she was just like, this is my line in the sand moment. And the win is there was a ton of people in our community that reached out to her just to encourage her. And for me, that was a win for the community, because I got to take part in that. I reached out to her. I gave her some extra training. We connected, was talking to her kind of on and off all day. And, for me, my goal this week was actually to try to reach out to somebody that I had not interacted with, who was not on my team, who I get absolutely no financial compensation for helping. And take them under my wing, give them extra training. And it just caught my attention. She's military. I wanted to help her. I have nothing but respect for the military. You know, Dalton's in the military, and you know, that's my one. It has nothing to do with financial gain. My goal this week was to help somebody, and she caught my attention.
That is seriously awesome. And that's just it, guys. You know, like I said, the win, you know, just like Dan was saying, your win can be GAZ related, or it can be something in regards to your family. You know, you were able to spend more time with them. You went on vacation for the weekend. You know, whatever it is, go ahead and post your guys' wins here. We see Isaac got 110 leads in one day for $100. That is awesome, man. You're paying less than $1 a lead. That's absolutely amazing. We got Pepe here, who ordered Think and Grow Rich last night. That is awesome, Pepe. You are definitely a hustler, man. Guys, that's my win. I have been a reading machine recently. And in the past 2 weeks, I've spent over $200 at Barnes & Noble. Just been crushing out books. I've been doing 2 to 3 books a week. My 10K shipped to me today. Super excited for that. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Angela, but I'm very interested. Fill me in on that.
I know. Did she get like 10K like sent to her from her bank?
I know, right?
I don't know if that meant like a K8 or it's a book.
Reordered my expired Ukon. Let me keep my original. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, that's one thing to remember, you know, once you hit around that 4-month mark, you're going to be, you're going to have to reorder those Ukons. Got 2 books this morning. Had an awesome hangout today. There we go. Locking down another job. Flip up that ad budget. Exactly. You know, just like Dan was saying, he's building that ad budget.
Oh my gosh. I'm up to dude, my ad budget is freaking ridiculous. I've been doing the numbers, and let me just say we are going to blow this completely out of the water. Side note, Jason Cardamone, we all know and love him. He's going into kind of a hibernation to create a new 90-day goal. And I was looking at some of his goals, and I was like, I like that goal. I kind of want to reach that goal. And I started doing the math to occur to that goal. Oh my gosh, I've been moving money all week.
Yeah, I was just, so that's just it. I actually literally went through my 90-day goal training literally today in the beta back office. And so I went through that training again to, you know, kind of just freshen everything up and remember, you know, each little detail. And I just set my 90-day goal, guys. I actually literally have it on writing right here. So my 90-day goal, you know, it's $107,951 in 1 month. And so that's what I want to do by the end of the 90 days. And I went through the training that we have in the beta back office, talking about your 90-day goal setting. And so I figured out how many trifectas I needed to sell and got everything lined up for me to hit that budget. So I'm really, really excited to get this implemented in place, guys, because I literally just started a fresh new 90-day goal setting today. So it's really powerful. Those of you guys that are in the beta training or in the beta back office, make sure you guys go through that training, get that set up. And of course, as we are getting you guys plugged into the system, you know, make sure you're going through that training and taking it serious. Because that was whenever I had my first $10,000 month. I literally did that exact same training, but I had it set up for a 60-day benchmark. And I literally followed the steps that Jang and Julian laid out in that training, followed it step by step. And sure enough, by the end of those 60 days, I hit my first $10,000 month. So we talk about the importance of really following these steps. Seriously, you know, make sure you guys are following those and going through that training.
Corey's on my team. He got 2 new books. And by the way, Corey, your ad is awesome, and I get targeted by it frequently. I love it, man. I love it. Let's see, Tyler. Tyler's starting to run it, man. He's got another job. He locked down another job to get more money for his budget. That's what we were talking about last week, guys. Do what you can, get that ad budget up. Your ad budget's your lifeblood. You need to have an ad budget. Gabrielle, I have an ad with both men and women targeted, and I noticed women 50% conversion, men $4. Do I make a difference, add and modify it, or do I just switch the ad set? Yes, for both. Try either of them. You know, whenever I have something that's, you know, one or the other, then I usually will either edit the ad, change the ad, make a new ad, and I'll take the data from that ad and I'll run with it. So, guys, there's no right or wrong answer here with the ads. We can give you our opinion based on our trial and error experience, but really, honestly, there's no wrong answer. If you have an ad where you notice the data is you set it for both men and women, and you notice that it's just taking off with men or taking off with women, or it's taking off in any particular part of the country, then make a new ad set targeting what those positives were and split test it out, right? So we keep talking about split testing. So if you're getting data from your ads, split test that data. You know, make an ad for just men, make an ad for just women, and then go for it and see which one does better, and then turn off the loser.
Yeah, guys, seriously, that's just it. And something to think about, you know, in regards to your ads, all right? So depending on what you're targeting, sometimes gender specific really helps. And this is not, you know, I'm not playing any kind of card here in regards to, you know, I'm just saying, think as a whole in regards to, one thing that I targeted a lot was to start bringing in women on my team. I was targeting like hairstyling, makeup, you know, like a lot of the interests that are in family and relationships, or beauty and healthcare, or whatever was the other one that they have there. You know, I was doing gender specific with those. So I was targeting women specifically, and I was having better target or, you know, better conversion rates. So that's just it. When you're split testing, split test each little thing and think about what interest you're targeting and whether it's, you know, more qualified, you know, more men or women are interested in that specific interest. And you'll notice that they'll tend to convert better. So that's something that you can always split test that I've done in the past.
And think about your ad itself, right? You can target people with your ad, with your video or with your copy. So I was actually talking with Lindsay earlier today. I was kind of giving her some ideas about what she can do. I want her to start making her own ads. We have a 20-year-old girl who's attractive. What should she do, right? So if she targets men, she'll probably do fine. If she targets 50-year-old women, she might not do so well. So I targeted with Julian Sherman as my intro video. He's exercising. So what did I target? I looked who's going to be interested in this particular video. People that exercise, maybe men, you know, gym rats, people like that. And so you target your audience based on that. If I wanted to target people that were training for a metric century on their bike, I would be getting on my bike, riding my bike, having a drone follow me or something like that, and that's going to grab their attention. Or if I was going after a NASCAR fan, I'd be having something to deal with cars in it. If I was going after, you know, outdoorsmen, I'd be doing something in the woods, outdoorsy. I'd be hiking or hunting or doing something like that. And I'd be focusing my ad on not money, but lifestyle. Hey man, are you bogged down with your job? Would you rather be out here doing X, Y, or Z like I'm doing? You know, I found this job, my business is making money while I'm out here camping, hunting, hiking, fishing, right? But you need to be in that environment. So you need to be very purposeful with your ad. You can take our ads and you can edit them, but if you're making your own ad, think long-term, think who you're going to target with that ad and make multiple of them. You know, for example, I'm just going to keep using Lindsay here because I've had a very long conversation with her today. You know, she has multiple interests. She's a hunter. She can go after outdoorsmen by going outside, right? She's also in the military. She can go after military personnel. She also is, she's airborne. So she can go after like that, you know, that thrill-seeking crowd, those cliff divers, those people that jump out of airplanes, right? So all you have to do is you can make individual ads to target individual populations, and you're going to get your capture. So find out what it is you like to do, right? And then go after people identical to you, right? I go after people identical to me. Dalton goes after people like him. We write ads that would interest us. We shoot videos that would interest us. So, you know, you can do that yourself. There is no right or wrong here. The only caveats are, don't talk about Enagic because we have a contract with Enagic. We are not advertising Enagic. We are advertising GAZ. And also, don't actually talk about GAZ in your videos. I've seen a few of you guys trying to say, you know, something about GAZ. We want you to market yourself, right? We're trying to brand you as the professional. And so when you're doing these videos, talk about your experience. If you need to leverage our success, leverage our success. If you're talking about lifestyle, which is really key, lifestyle changes, that's what you need to go for. But don't market Enagic in your ads, and try not to market anything particular by phrasing GAZ. We don't want you to market GAZ. We want you to market yourself, brand yourself, be the professional, make yourself the authority, and then people will come to you. And then they're going to, you don't have it happens every day where people are like, hey, so-and-so told me to contact you. They've never seen an ad. They have no idea who I am, but so-and-so said I'm an authority for making money online and they want to know more. And so then I direct them to, the webinar. So, food for thought. Again, ads are our lifeblood, and so is our ad budget. So think outside the box, go for it. Kayla went on her honeymoon. She shot a ton of videos on her honeymoon. Great option, right? I mean, not all of us are going to be in Jamaica anytime soon, except Jody Ann Porter, who lives in Jamaica. But you know what I'm saying? So, use that to your advantage.
And that's just it, guys. Just like Dan was saying, you can create multiple videos, have multiple different videos running. So, you can always do, like certain videos are going to relate to certain individuals. So even if you put your face on the beginning of each one of those videos, just like Dan was saying, create multiple different videos with yourself and have them transition into like Jang's video. Or, as we're launching this new system, guys, you're going to have like 10 to 15 different videos that you're all going to have access to. So you can literally choose different videos and target different interests with those different videos. And something else to take into consideration is that ad copy that you're writing with that specific video. So, I'm not going to go too much more into that because Dan covered it really well, but I just wanted to add that in there. You guys can run multiple videos at once. You're not secluded to one video.
Oh gosh, I test put so many different videos and many versions of the same video, right? You're changing little things within it. So, and ironically, you'll find the one that just takes off and you really don't know why, but it does. And so you just put a crap ton of money on it and let it run.
So let's see here. Amy got her trifecta this morning. That is really exciting. Let's see. Yeah, Jang in his right robe. Yeah, he's out at a resort relaxing. Let's see.
I love you, Jang.
I have 8 downlines in 2 weeks. That's exciting. 3 of them are buying trifectas. That is amazing.
Oh,
that is amazing. Just think about that. If they all buy in one day, the potential there. Guys, seriously, that's how I had $10,000 days. I've had days where I've literally put, either 2 trifectas through with a couple other sales. I've put through 3 trifectas in one day. So that's how you get to that point where you're having these $10,000 days and you're hitting these new benchmarks. And so that was like today for me to calculate, whenever I calculated out my 90-day goal, what was it? I believe it was, I have to have 33 trifectas in 1 month to hit my $107,000 goal. And that's specifically related to me, not even including what my downline does. So as you guys are going through that training, you're going to see that these goals are written down specifically to you. Don't take into consideration your downline, nothing else. So yeah, you guys will get into that whenever you get into the training. Let's see here. I'm writing down my 90-day goals out from that training. That's awesome. Let's see. First sale.
I sold my car today. Holy cow. Well, now we got an ad budget to work with. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Nothing more exciting than the first sale. Seriously, that's just it. It's one of those things where getting that first sale really helps build your confidence. After you get that first sale, then you start shooting for 1 a week. Once you start shooting for 1 a week, you start shooting for 1 every webinar. Then you get into that point where you're hitting multiple. Guys, there was a point where I was literally bringing in 15 to 20 people a webinar, and you can get to that point as you gradually build up. And that's just it, guys. Once you generate 1 sale, you can get to a point where you're doing 10 to 20 a webinar, believe me.
Yeah, easy. Got my trifecta this morning. Amy, very good.
Let's see here. I really like what Amanda just posted, guys. Those of you that haven't read it, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. I've been visualizing for almost 2 weeks that I would receive my tax refund check from the last year that the government decided to hold. Long story short, today I got home, walked to the mailbox, picturing the check, and I'll be damned if it wasn't there. I ran to the bank so fast, totally ready for the new system. Guys, it's crazy.
Cash that before they cash that quick.
Exactly. Guys, seriously, as crazy as it sounds, visualizing, all right? I actually did a 90-day visualization challenge, and this was literally right around the same time. I'm pretty sure it actually was at the same time whenever I did my last 90-day goal for me to do my first $10,000 month. Or sorry, I did that 60-day goal, but it was right on that same time frame. And it's one of those things where, I was sitting there and I was actually on a webinar with Cami Kiala. We were in AWOL Elite. And they were talking about how I needed to sit down and take 10 minutes a day to visualize me accomplishing the goal of receiving that $10,000 in a month. And, you know, guys, I wasn't huge on, it's almost like meditation. I was never really huge on sitting there and believing that me visualizing these things would help it occur. And, but it's one of those things where I always knew to listen to Cam and Kiala. Jang and Julian talk about it all the time in regards to reading, working on personal development, and this visualization challenge. They actually talk about it in the training in regards to the 90-day goal. So it's going to feel weird. You know, you're going to sit there and you're going to write down your entire 90-day goals, and you're going to sit there and you're going to visualize you accomplishing these goals. And you're going to get very in-depth. You're going to place, sorry guys, I'm talking really fast here. I'll slow it down a little bit. But when you're accomplishing your 90-day goal, you want to envision that exact location of where you're sitting, whether it be on a beach, at your home office, you know, you're spending time with your family. So as you're going through each day, you should spend at least 10 minutes a day visualizing you accomplishing your goals. And over time, your visions are going to get more, you know, clearer each and every day. And it's so important to do it with multiple different goals. Not only can you do it with, you know, your monthly income goal. You know, let's say one of your big things is you want to speak on stage in front of thousands of people. I know Jang was talking about this in one of his visualization challenges that he did. You know, he visualized himself standing on stage, talking in front of hundreds of people. And he could remember like the colors that were on the walls, the people that were sitting in the front row, you know, how the chairs were lined up, how he was announced. All these little details add up, and you will notice that if you do these, I know it sounds crazy, but literally if you follow these steps for 90 days and you visualize your goals and you read your goals every morning and every evening, you're going to look back after 90 days and you're going to realize that you have accomplished those goals. And so seriously, the power behind that training is absolutely amazing. And so there you go, guys. There's proof right there of Amanda. She was literally, I had been talking to Amanda and Pepe in my group and telling them to start really focusing on visualizing their goals. And here she is. She's talking about visualizing a check in her mailbox. And sure enough, she walked out there today and boom, there was a check sitting in her mailbox. So
Angela Smangela. She's finally got a work schedule to allow her to do this, and her income won't change. She's going from 20 days a month to 8 days. Congrats, Angela. Joe Vines, he's apparently just too dead sexy, so he doesn't target women, and there's a lot of talk between him and Jang. So we're going to go past that. I thought I saw a question. Yeah, Brandon. Brandon has a good question here. I watched a video of Cody Harris, and he would run multiple ads that are all the same, but wouldn't go over $5 a day. And he was told this by Facebook. So this is part of scaling. There's two theories on scaling your ads, and both of them work for me. So I'm going to tell you how I've always done it, and I'm going to kind of explain what Cody has kind of brought to the table. So scaling your ads, once you get an ad that is converting at 50 cents per click or under $2 a lead, you can add money to that daily. And usually you try not to go over 20% per day to run under the radar. Now, I have done this for the last year, and I have scaled my ads to multiple hundreds of dollars, 4, 5, 6, 700 a day. Never once did it ever affect my cost per click or my opt-in rate. It just never did. I don't know why, but a lot of people say it does. So I always add slow increments of money, and after 3 or 4 weeks, my ads keep growing. And you scale that way. Now, that's how I've always done it. That's how Jang originally taught me to do it. And I've done it, and I never really had problems with it. And then once I get to my level of however many hundreds a day I'm going to spend, I just let it ride, and I don't even look at them. Like literally, I'll go days without looking at my ads. I'll just log into my Aweber, check my opt-ins, making sure that I'm getting at the appropriate amount of opt-ins per day, and I go forward from there. Now, Cody actually contacted Facebook and asked them about this because he was noticing that as he did that, his opt-in rates changed and he was getting worse conversions. And they basically told him, once you have an ad up and running, don't touch it because it can change your metrics. And so what they told him to do was make multiple ads. So he'd make 25 ads at $5 a day instead of one ad for that amount of money. So he would just make once he found a target he liked, he just make more and more ads with the same target, and just that's how he scaled. So that's kind of the two versions of scaling. One where you add money to your ad, or you just leave it at $5 a day and you just make a crap ton of ads at $5 a day, and then you can turn on and turn off the ones that aren't producing for you. And then that, in theory, doesn't affect your ads. But again, I have tried both ways and I've never had any issue with either. So that's scaling. Scaling 101. There you go.
Literally either option works, but the thing is that's very, very important is don't bounce between the two, because you're just gonna mess up all of your split testing, okay? So pick one method and stick with it. You know, just like me and Dan do the exact same method. I've always done that because that's what I was originally taught. And it's a thing where, you know, literally I got to a point to where I had the same ads running for almost 2 months, guys. So it all depends. Now, when you do increase, you know, it can throw off your metrics. Sometimes it's for the good, sometimes it's for the bad. I've literally had an ad go from, you know, mid 40s and drop all the way down to the 20s by increasing the budget. Does that happen every time? Absolutely not. So it's just one of those things. It's personal preference, but whenever you pick one, stick with it and master it. Don't bounce back and forth between the two. There's not one that's working better than the other. It's just one of those things, you know, figure out which one you like and stick with it.
Isaac Perez, when people have questions, what do you recommend we say? Look, I always try to get them to the webinar. Let the webinar sell them. If they've got questions, point them to the webinar. If this is somebody that says something like, I have absolutely no money in the bank, no money to rub, you know, you guys know, you get these people that are like absolutely desperate. Don't lie to them. You know, my typical response is, you can absolutely make money online, but you need to have the ability to invest between $500 and $1,000 in yourself to start a business. And you can start that conversation, well, we're going to teach you how to start a business. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Yes or no, right? Well, no. Have you ever started to save money to start your own business? This is a legitimate online business. This isn't a scam. This isn't get rich quick. It's going to take time. It's going to take investment. It's going to take capital. And you can take them down that road. That's what I do. You know, when people like come out to me, they're like, they've never thought about it. They just think it's a get rich quick scheme. I'd be like, well, we're going to teach you the skills and the trade on how to create an online business for yourself. Have you ever thought about running your own business? Have you started saving for your own business? Do you have capital in reserve to start your own business? And usually in those situations, the answers are no, no, and no. And, you know, Steve, who just popped on here, Steve and I have multiple times had the conversation with, I mean, this is going to sound really bad and really coarse and to the point, but the people that ask a lot of questions are wasting your time, legitimately, and they never buy. So I'm not trying to be mean, but just be to the point with them and try to get them into the webinar, let the webinar sell them. All of the people I have actually made contact with who have joined my team who are successful, honestly never once badgered me, weird questions. They were like, I'm in. And they got it. They came in and they produced. All those people that have 1,000 questions, I've never sold them once because they're skeptical in nature. And these are people that aren't going to do well anyway. And if they do, by God, good gravy, you're going to spend like 90% of your time with them. And then when they have troubles, they're going to blame you for it. So that's just my 2 cents. I try to point them to the webinar. And if they pull that, I just honestly, like, you're going to have to invest in yourself. Start saving now.
Honestly, seriously, guys, the one biggest thing that I always say, they're like, oh, why can't you just explain this to me? And simply, this is what I reply back, and it's very straight to the point. If you don't have an hour to watch a webinar replay to change your life, then honestly, I don't want to work with you. If you're not going to take an hour to invest into yourself, then I don't want to work with you. And I literally tell them that every single time. I'm not here to try to persuade you to join my team. I don't need you to join me. I've said this multiple times, guys. You're going to have people like, oh, how do I know this isn't a scam, yada, yada, yada. Literally, guys, I'll just go in there and be like, hey, I didn't join this. You know, what do I say?
You didn't create it. You're a user of the system, and it's functional for you, and you make a ton of money. That's what I say. I go, look, I didn't create the system. I went through the
I'm not here to persuade you. These are all multiple different things. And I've literally told people, hey, guys, you know, honestly, I don't need your sale. I'm not here to persuade you to join me. You came to me about this opportunity. If you're interested in checking it out, watch this live webinar. Usually the people that whenever I say that, it really sparks their interest because you're not looking like a desperate sales individual. You don't want to look desperate for a sale. And not only that, this is not to offend anybody, you know, but when somebody comes to you in a really desperate situation, you don't want to work with them either. And there's multiple reasons behind this. And I know Dan and a couple of the other leaders can agree with me on this. When somebody comes to you super desperate and they're asking all these different questions, guys, I promise you they're wasting your time. 90% of the time, whenever I've gotten on the phone or I've messaged people back answering all their questions, it never amounted to anything.
And Steve has actually purchased people's UConn for them on their behalf, giving them the benefit of the doubt, waiving the $99 fee, giving them cash out of his pocket, and not one of them has ever produced.
Yeah,
Look, we have bleeding hearts too. Like you gotta, you kind of gotta build that wall,
And I hate to say it, but it's like, me and a couple of people on my team, I know Eric Street has done this, and, I'm this isn't to offend anybody that's on this, if they're on this webinar that's watching, but like, I've literally watched myself and like Eric and my other leader, Chris, like we've literally given sales to help people that have, been trying to struggle and kind of help get them to that next step. And it doesn't amount to anything.
I've given sales away to downline people, and they make the money, and they don't use it for ads. I don't know. It's kind of like the old adage that you can lead a horse to water, can't make them drink type thing. Look, if you're not going to hustle for this yourself, it's not going to happen. And that goes for your downline, not just the people on here. The people on here watching us are the hustlers, right? The 100 or so that are here, you're hustling, you're watching us, you're asking our advice, we're giving you advice, you're listening, you're taking it in. You're not the people we're worried about, clearly. It's everyone, the other, 3,900 people who sit back, criticize, and judge, and don't take action. So, yeah.
I can literally tell whenever I get on a coaching call with somebody whether or not they're going to be successful or not, simply by talking to them.
Within like a minute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's so simple. You can tell the people that are going to come onto your team that are going to be true go-getters. And I'm not saying this is in every situation. I've had people come onto my team that have just really gotten into it and picked up, started running with it, but they followed the steps that were in place. But usually whenever I get on a coaching call with somebody, I can tell within the first couple minutes whether or not they are going to actually implement and be successful in the community or not. And that's with people that message you too. Like I said, if you have somebody that comes to you and they're like, oh, how do I know this isn't a scam? I literally don't even waste my time in talking to them, because most of the time you're going to have individuals that are just so close-minded.
It never made sense to me. They're asking me if I'm scamming them. Is this a scam? You're asking the person that is,
like, do you think well, first of all, do you think we're just going to openly come out and be like,
yes, absolutely, give me your money?
But see, and that's the thing that I've realized too is, I've had so many people that have came to me and they're like, Dalton, I'm super excited to join. I'm ready to go. I'm going to buy in on the web, or I'm going to come in and join your team on the webinar. And then it's like, boom, they disappear out of nowhere. You never hear from them. But then you have
I'm going to bring us back around here. We'll go on this all night. Right now we're venting coaching frustrations, I think.
Oh, I know, right? Well, we're talking about not wasting time. It's valuable.
Yeah. JB started driving with Lyft for extra money. Awesome. Love you, JB. I miss you, bro. I can't wait to get back out to Vegas to hang out sometime, man. Let's see. My win. I got a house under contract closing in October. We'll finally have the funds to buy my trifecta. All right, Kwitty. That's awesome, man. That's great.
Oh,
coming in hard. Oh, was my dog in here? Yeah, my dog comes in here. My white lab. She's my little girl. I'm searching for questions. This is a tech talk. Let me see here.
Yes, let's see. I'm kind of doing the same thing.
Awesome comments, though. I'm loving the comments. Lots of positive feedback. Okay, here. How do you season an ad with social proof and retain it if you are constantly creating replicas of the ad? The only way I can see me doing it is by boosting a post. Yeah, so, Lewis, it's the same post, right, on your fan page that you're just boosting multiple times. So your social proof stays with the actual post on your fan page, and then you can go into our group and ask people to comment about their social proof on your ad. Like, yeah, I watched that webinar. It was great. It changed my life.
Hey,
and then it stays on the ad.
He's talking about creating replicas. So when, how we were talking about creating multiple videos.
Videos? Yeah, you're just going to have to do it for each one of them.
See, and that's just it. You got to do it for each one. But the thing is, you know, whenever you're running multiple videos, guys, something that I express is to really have a powerful video, and the importance between finding really good converting ads is social proof. I cannot tell you how important it is. You know, whenever you're creating your ads at the beginning, really, you know, you'll occasionally find that really good ad when you first create, you know, whenever, let's say you have a fresh video with a little bit of likes and comments, occasionally you'll come across an ad that's going to convert really well. But for the most part, you have to really develop that social proof in regards to getting a lot of likes, getting a lot of comments. That is what's going to show the power behind your video. I had a video running where it literally had over 2,000 likes, over 1,000 comments, 1,000 shares. I could target anything with that video, and it was converting below 50 cents because it has the social proof. It's got all these different likes and comments and shares. So it was to a point where I could target almost anything, and it would convert below 50 cents.
Yeah, if you've got a good ad with a great copy, you could target grass and it'll convert. I mean, that's just how it is. And as our community grows and as the same videos get used over and over and over again, there's going to be a saturation within the market, guys. So that's why we've been kind of hounding people who are willing to do their own advertising, to create their own videos or create an intro to one of our videos, because let's face it, everyone can have a different spin, and the video I create may attract a certain crowd, but the video you create may attract a completely different set of people that have never been interested in this at all, and you can bring in a ton of people. So there is that. Jay Lee, I had someone share my video and say, is this real? I wanted to comment, well, I'm not a robot, here I am. Yeah, Jay Lee, when people share your video and then they comment, they have disparaging comments on it, there's not much you can do. I've had people share my video and say these guys are such scammers, etc., etc. It's still free advertising, right? So somebody is going to sit there and still watch the video despite their friend who shared it with their list. You know, these people might have hundreds of people as friends, and they just share it to their whole list. And you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of people coming in a little skeptical to watch, but hey, you may get a sale out of that. I mean, why not? It's free advertising. Look, I haven't been running ads for the last several weeks, and I'm still getting sales because of likes, shares, and comments. Free advertising is still advertising, and it's the best. Remember, there's organic traffic, and then there's paid traffic. When you're paying for traffic, Facebook is taking that ad, and they are sticking it in front of the face of the person, the type of person you have recommended. Age, sex, location, occupation, whatever. And you're paying to have it on their newsfeed or in their video feed. The likes, shares, and comments, that's free advertising, and it usually gets placed in front of the entire person's friend list. And I, on average, get about 10% or so free advertising on my ads from likes, shares, and comments. So, you know, if it was shared 1 million times, 100,000 of that was for free. And I love free advertising, so I don't care if they honestly share it with disparaging comments. They're going to get eyes on my ad.
And that's with multiple things, guys. I was actually reading a book called Biology. It's actually this one right here.
And I have a degree in biology, so what do you need to know?
It actually talks about a lot on how negative publicity can actually be really powerful in helping your business. The book that I'm currently reading right now is Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal. I was just going to say, look at what Trump's doing, guys. I'm not going to get political on you, but negative advertising is free advertising. And all of the news agencies are giving him a ton of publicity because of what he has done or said or is thinking, right? So it still catches on fire. You'll run with it. Absolutely.
I'm looking for more questions.
Jeremy, I want you to, what do you mean you lost a lead to another distributor? As in like another team or what exactly are you talking about in regards to, a different eNagic team or what? If you want to go ahead and reply to your actual comment there, and then I'll address that.
Yeah, Jeremy, usually the way it's set up right now is if they have opted into multiple funnels because everyone's running different kinds of ads, people might not know that we're all the same group. And they went down 3 or 4 people, like let's just use Dalton, me, and Steve because we're on here. Somebody went down both Dalton, mine, and Steve's funnel, and they get emails from all three of us. As it's set right now, whichever ad they click on, watch the video, watch the webinar, and then hit join success team, that's who's going to get the credit. The new system will change that. We're still deciding on first touch, last touch, but the new system will actually wipe all of those problems away. If this is somebody that's already paid $100 and is on your team, and then they buy Enagic through another distributor, that is something we need to investigate, because that is something that we won't tolerate.
Yeah, that is not tolerated at all. We've had multiple issues with that. So
and we've kicked people out of our groups for doing that. We have actually excommunicated them from GAZ, won't let them run any ads, won't let them take part in anything. So that is something that we don't want people stealing other people's leads once they're in the system. So if they've gone down multiple funnels, there's not much we can do, because of that's just how the system is set up right now.
Okay.
So they went down multiple funnels probably. Yeah, Steve and I were just talking about this. Something happened with Steve where somebody went down multiple funnels, and they would have been Steve's lead, but then they decided, since they were involved in both funnels, that they went with another person, and now they're coming back to Steve for advice. So it happens to us too. And hey, JB, first touch is something that in the last leadership meeting, both Steve and I fought for, and we talked with Julian about first touch versus last touch. And they're going to be talking about first touch. Guys, first touch versus last touch literally is that the first person whose ad a client touches is locked in with them from beginning to end. Last touch is sort of the person that they buy under. So I don't want to get into too much detail because it hasn't been hammered out, but we on our end have been vying for first touch. But there is some benefit for the newest person for a last touch option that we're discussing.
So yeah, so he's been talking to him for a while and then came in. See, that's just it, Jeremy. It's one of those things where, you know, if he was in both your guys' funnels, you know, whoever's email that he clicked that time to go view the webinar is who it's going to go through. You know, it's tough. I mean, you know, you can talk to him. I would talk to the guy and kind of explain, you know, maybe you guys can come up with an agreement, you know, for him to switch over to you, because I've had that happen where, you know, they were in multiple different funnels, but they were talking to me consistently and I was working with them. Then they ended up buying in. Well, instead of clicking my email, they clicked somebody else's. And it was one of those things where I just talked to him and we came up with an agreement. We were able to work it out. So in that situation, you know, that's something that you would have to talk to him about and kind of see if you guys can come up with some kind of agreement. Unless he willingly went over and decided to purchase with him, you know, that's really out of your control because it is the $99 purchase. But yeah, that's one of those things. You know, you'll have people that opted in 6 or 7 months ago, and then you'll have them re-opt in because they'll see the video again and they'll opt in again 2 weeks ago. And you'll have people that'll fall under multiple funnels. So just like we were saying with the new system, that's going to be eliminated. This won't, you know, it'll no longer be an issue. But right now, it's out of our control.
Lewis says, but I look at people's pages and no one has their ads in post format, which means they are loading the vids as they create their ads in Ads Manager. Am I right? I'm not even sure what he's
I know what he's saying here. So, Louis, it's a couple different things. So they could have posted, like me, you know, lately I've been posting content on my fan page. So my video is falling further and further down my fan page to where if somebody goes on and click it, they're going to have to scroll way down to find my video. But you can also create and add a video whenever, you know, you're creating a new ad. So there is both options to where you can, you know, just upload the video and then create a new ad. Or, like I said, it could be lower on their fan page to where you have to scroll way down to be able to access that.
Or also, if you want, you can just pin your ad video to the top of your page. So that's the first thing people see when they come to your page.
And I'll also you know, when you, this is advanced, when you have access to lead pages. If you're running your own lead pages, guys, you can actually publish your landing page to your Facebook fan page, and it can be a tab of its own. And literally on my fan page, you can click a tab and my landing page is in Facebook. And I have actually, the reason I don't do this right now is I have actually run traffic to that fan page. The problem is you can't track it, but it opt-ins at an insanely high rate. Unless you're running your own funnel, you can't do that. And I was testing it out. And I was really irritated because I couldn't track anything. But yeah, I mean, you can pin it to the top of your fan page. You can actually install your opt-in page right on your fan page, or you do the basic training. The basic training is set up because of the 90% done for you system, because you don't have access to all that fun stuff behind the scene, and it works just as well. So just keep doing with what the training shows.
Let's see,
Blake. Hey, do any of you use the quote, send people to your webinar quote choice when you go to create an ad? I have never used it because for me personally, I'm trying to fly under the radar, and Facebook doesn't like webinars.
Yep.
They don't like webinars. They see them as scamish, and I don't want to be advertising to Facebook that I'm running a webinar. So honestly, if I can get away without even having a website in my copy, I will try to get away with that. And I will actually say in some of my ads, contact me and I'll send you the information. And I don't even put a website on there. And then I have an auto reply in my fan page stating, thank you for requesting information. Here's your link. And I don't even put a link on there. Again, another advanced option that you can't really track with Pixels. I know Jane said he was working with Pixels on that option, but like we've created multiple ads where we didn't even put a link in there. And we literally just said, our little copy, if you want to know more, please like, share, comment, and send me a message. And then people like, share, comment, and then when they send you a message, you have an automatic replier in your fan page that says, hey, thanks for reaching out to me. I get hundreds of emails per day. This is an auto reply. Follow this link to get set up for your free webinar. And then the link is there. And so you're not even putting a link. There's no forwarding to blogging. There's none of that stuff. So another option for you if you want to test that out.
Yeah, that's just the thing though, guys, is it's really, we wouldn't recommend it now. We recommend it once you get into the new system, because it's really hard to track that, because you're not how much you're paying per link click, all right? So
there's no cost per click.
Yeah, I highly, highly do not recommend doing that unless you're running your own funnel or until we get into the new system, because you're going to have no idea how that's converting. The only reason why, me, Dan, and the other leaders, we were able to run those video ads without a link is because we can track, we can look in, we can go into our get response and see, okay, well, we spent $10 today, but I had 15 people come in and opt into my get response. Therefore, I know it's converting efficiently. So, like I said, guys, do not do that unless you're running your own funnels or until we get into the new system.
And the other problem is I was unable to, and I think Jane may have figured this out. I personally was unable to figure out which one of my multiple ads that I was doing that with was actually converting, because suddenly I'm pooling them all together and I'm just looking at my Aweber and I'm like, hey, I got 200 opt-ins for $100. Was that my first ad or my fifth ad, right? So, I mean, we don't put this training out. I'm mentioning it now just because you're all here, and some of you may want to tinker if you're running your own funnels, like JB or Mike Whitehead or Seth Ciani, people that I know are running their own funnels and they have access to their own Get Response or Aweber. This is an advanced training seminar, so we'll give you advanced topics, but we are always testing this stuff behind the scenes and trying to figure out how to work the pixels to get it to track. But yeah, there you go.
Wade, are we going to have access to lead and sales, both direct and indirect information stats when we log into the new system? For sure, you're going to have direct. In regards to the non-direct sales, I'm actually not sure. Dan, have you heard anything about if we're going to be able to track like our downlines information?
I believe that there is going to be a GAZ genealogy where you will get to see the $99 opt-ins underneath you. I don't know how that's going to relate to an Agic. I don't know. And none of the programmers are on tonight. And look, guys, how do I put this? The system is extremely complex as far as what they've created, and I haven't worked through nearly all of it yet. And we have, when we start running our own traffic to it to test it this week, we're going to get to see how it all kind of unfolds. But because of the holiday that we just had, the call floor was off. So we didn't want to run traffic to a call floor that didn't exist. And the call floor is now back on duty because the holiday is over. So now over the next week, we're going to be hammering them with sales to see how it rolls out. So once I actually get people into the system and I visually see with my eyes how it's all kind of going to unfold. Right now it's all theoretical and we need to make sure the bugs are not there. So right now we've got 100 GAZ members running through every module, finding every link error, every click problem, every misspelling. You know, we've got 100 people running through the system, and then the leaders are going to spend their money to run people into the system so that if there is an issue, if people get lost, if sales don't convert for whatever reason, we're the ones losing the money, not you guys. So we're going to put a fair chunk of change towards running some traffic to the system here pretty soon. So the new system, I can't really answer that.
Costa, let's see. Is there going to be funnel training in the new system? What kind of training will there be? I know that we're going to have a little bit of funnel training, guys. We don't have all the details laid out into that. You know, we are going to have some more advanced Facebook training and stuff for you guys that we already have in place.
We're going to have advanced traffic training, if that makes sense, right? So you guys, funnel training like is AWOL Elite. Okay, that's a $10,000 purchase. You want to learn how to build a funnel for your niece's business, join AWOL Elite. They will teach you everything from beginning to end, from running traffic, creating fan pages, creating a Weber list, inboxing. They have all these academies set up. The new GAZ system essentially nullifies the need to know any of that stuff because it's all done for you by professionals that have been paid a crap ton of money to do it. So all of that stuff you don't really need to know. You don't need to know Inbox Academy because the get response is not going to be something that we're going to be in control of. It's being controlled by some professionals. And the 300 plus emails are written by people that write copy for a living. So you don't need to know how to write copy, right? And the fact that we are going to be able to track every person through the entire system from beginning to end, from which was the last email they opened, we're going to be able to track that. For example, guys, right now, you all get 3 or 4 emails every night of the webinar, right? And it just comes to you automatically. The new system will be able to track if somebody's opened that email. If they've opened that email and are going to respond to the email, they're not going to get any more. If they don't open the email, then they're going to get a sequence of follow-up emails. So it's all sequentially laid out. It's all tracked in the system. So like learning how to create a funnel from beginning to end is sort of null and void now. Now what you need to focus in on is obtaining traffic and running traffic to your new opt-in squeeze page. So we're all going to get new squeeze pages. We're all going to get new opt-in pages in the system. The system's going to generate them for us under our GAZ code, and you're going to run traffic to that. So you're going to have to go into your GoDaddy where it's forwarded with masking to someone's lead page, one of your leaders' lead page, and you're going to have to copy and paste that new code in, and you're going to start running traffic to that new page when we convert over.
Exactly, guys. That's just it. You know, none of us are going to be running our, you know, I'm sure I'm beyond excited to not run my own funnels right now, guys. I'm so looking forward to the system. That's the power behind this. And, you know, that's why Jang and Julian and Eric and, you know, all of them that put this together is for us to not have to worry about all those different little things, because putting a funnel together is very intricate, guys. It's not a two-step process, I assure that.
No, it's an extremely complex process that requires lots and lots and lots of manual labor on a daily basis so that it stays functional. And the leaders that are running your funnel, you should reach out and thank them, because just making sure that things inbox correctly takes a lot of effort.
Let's see here. So we got Corey Lee. So I have 2 ads going for about 3 weeks. They're both averaging $135 per lead. They were both no interest ads. Nothing came through as far as front end sales. Would you shut them off because it may be a low quality lead? Corey, so something I want you to think about, man, is there's so many people that, you know, just because you're getting these $35 leads doesn't mean that they've had a chance to watch the webinar yet. All right. So that's something to always understand is, you know, when you're having people come in, you know, I get it all the time. Hey, Dalton, I've had 100 leads come in this week and I haven't generated a sale yet. you're going to realize that, literally you'll have 2, 3, I've had guys literally 6 months ago opt into my email list that are just now buying in. Most people will watch the webinar a couple times before they make that first purchase. People are going to come across situations where, they're not able to attend that webinar the first couple weeks, or maybe they didn't have the funding at that moment to come in. Now, could it possibly be a low quality lead? Absolutely. That is something to always take into consideration when you're targeting. This isn't to offend anybody on here, but if you're targeting that age range between 18 to 21, most of them don't have a well-established credit. Most of them are working at like a fast food restaurant, a grocery store, a restaurant, these jobs that are getting paid minimum wage. So obviously that's going to be a lower quality lead rather than somebody that is a homeowner, or, you can target different income ranges. That's something that I've messed around with. You can also target what kind of degree they have. And then you can get into different interests. Obviously, if you select entrepreneur and you're getting a really, I even pay a little bit more per lead, but, if you're getting somebody that you're targeting an ad for an entrepreneur at the age of, 30 to 35, and that's obviously going to be a much higher quality lead. Sorry about that, guys. That's going to obviously be a much higher quality lead rather than somebody that is 18 years old that's working at McDonald's. Like I said, guys, this isn't to offend anybody, I promise. I'm just putting that example out there. So, I'd run it for a couple more weeks, see how it goes, and then at that point you can make the decision on whether or not you want to shut it off, because when you have no interest, it's hard to tell whether it's a higher quality lead or not. Something you can take into consideration is the age range. So that's something you can look into. Obviously, a younger age range is not going to necessarily be as high of a quality lead as somebody that's, 25 to 45.
And Facebook has that data. You just need to dig into it. Guys, we're coming out of time because we've got the beta, so I'm going to pop through a few more questions here. John Bartleson, JB, can you talk a little bit about the SPD1 DO FAO? Yes, absolutely, JB. What you're referring to, JB, is something called a commission status. So everyone in eNagic has a commission status, and your commission status is based on when your last sale was. If you are an UConn user, you do not need to worry about this, because guess what? You're getting a direct sale every time your UConn reorders to yourself. Remember, you sold it to yourself, and so you're going to resell it to yourself every 4 months. So that ID is covered if you're an UConn user. So you do not need to really worry about this. But SP is something called special point. So right now, everybody running with us who's making sales falls under SP, and you're getting the full $340 per K8, right? That's actually including your special point bonus. The D1 is, okay, so special point is for if you've had a direct sale within 90 days. So if you've had a direct sale within 90 days and you make another direct sale, you get a little bit more money for your sale. D1 is when your last direct sale was more than 90 days but less than 6 months. So let's say you sold an item and then 4.5, 5 months later you sell another item. You're not going to get the full commission that you're thinking of, because part of that full commission includes the special point bonus. But long story short, be an UConn user, make sure you have UConn and you'll be fine. D0 is when the last direct sale was over 6 months ago, and you'll only receive 50% of the commission of your direct sale. So if you made a sale in January and your next sale is December of that year, you're not going to make your full commission. You're going to make 50% commission on your direct sale. And then FAO is you haven't had a sale for 2 years. So you made a sale in 2013, your next sale is in 2016. Guess what? Your FAO, which doesn't mean something out of luck, okay? I'll read it to you. You will not receive commission for your indirect sale while you're FAO. Once you make a direct sale, your status will resume to D1. So this is commission status. As long as you're making a sale every 90 days, you're fine. You'll make a full commission on everything. If you guys are running multiple IDs, meaning you've got sub-IDs like Dalton and I do, if your original ID has an UConn associated with it, you're fine. You can always YouTube this too, if I didn't make any sense. And actually, JB, in our private group, I actually posted a video on that. It's advanced training number 9.
Go ahead and answer a couple quick ones here really quick, and then we got to hop off and jump over to the beta video. So Dan, if you're running across a couple quick ones you want to answer there real quick. So yeah, guys, those of you guys that are in the beta group, get ready. We're going to be jumping over to the beta webinar. As far as I'm aware, we should be using Webinar Jam for that. So those of you that are receiving those emails, those should work for you. If not, check the beta group, and we might be posting a link there. I'm not sure. I got to talk to Jang. So keep an eye out for that, but we're going to be making that transition over here in just a minute.
I'm actually seeing a lot of the GAZ folks answering questions for them, but I'm skimming very, 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 very quickly.
So guys, I'm really sorry if we didn't get to your question. We're kind of on a little bit of a time crunch here. We want to make sure that, we get over to that other webinar, but, make sure you guys are posting in that group. Those of you guys that are in the community that have the answer to these questions, be sure to go ahead and get in there and share. That's what this whole community is about, is, learning that information, putting it into action, and then sharing it with others.
I want to just answer one last question. Christina Beck. Guys, Facebook is extremely concerned that their system is secure, meaning your credit card is secure, no hackers can get to you. They track your IP address, and if they see you logging into your account from multiple IP addresses, you are going to get flagged for suspicious activity. You can fight it by sending in your ID and some other things, but your credit card will get flagged, and then they won't accept that credit card for your safety. So this happened to me once. I actually called Facebook and had a long conversation with them, and what the guy basically told me is always use one computer from one location from one internet source and you should be okay. Try not to log into your Facebook back office from your phone with a rotating IP address, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I was logging in at work, I was logging in at home, I was logging in on my phone, and they finally just threw their hands up and said, we're blocking your credit card for your safety. So that is something that they do. And it is for your safety. So I know you guys are anxious and you're probably trying to work at it from multiple locations, from multiple computers, but what they basically told me is stick with one computer, stick with one location, and that will lessen your chance of getting a flagged account for suspicious activity.
All right, perfect, guys. So we're going to tie this up here. Like I said, I'm super excited, super grateful. I'm really excited to be able to get on here and, have me and Dan get your guys' questions answered. Like I said, guys, I'm sorry if we didn't get to your question. Make sure you're posting that group. Those of you that are in the community, be sure to answer those questions if you have that information. Like I said, we got to hop over to that beta webinar. But I hope you guys are ready. Keep hustling this week. Keep pushing through. Work on those goals. Make sure you're getting your reading in, and make sure you guys attend the webinar tomorrow. Make sure that you guys are showing up to these webinars, especially if you're sitting at home watching TV. That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard in my entire life. I know there's some of you guys that have to work. Make sure you're catching those replays and stuff. But on that note, thank you guys for attending. Thank you guys for sharing with us, commenting, asking your questions. I really love getting on here and being able to provide value back to you guys. Dan, you want to do any closing out words here?
Nah, man. Shane wanted to know why Brandon Odom's not on here. I don't think Brandon's ever been on here.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. We haven't. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
He's more than welcome. Maybe he doesn't have the time.
I know he does his own webinars and stuff, guys. So I know he's extremely busy with that. So I'm not really sure what he's got going on. But on that note, guys, you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you guys soon. We'll see you later.